Hello. Hello, hello. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Joining us today is our head of crypto research, Josh. If you're in the market research side, you get 1 to 2 beautiful emails from Josh every week. He spearheads all of our crypto stuff. He's here with us today to talk through some of the charts that we're looking at. What's up, Josh?
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. It's nice to be on here and looking forward to chatting. And now there's some volatility in the market.
There's a little bit of volatility finally. Bitcoin's woken up. Crypto total market cap's woken up. It's a little bit more fun to trade. There's a lot of opportunity right now, right?
Absolutely.
So first thing I want to start with here is the overall idea of what we're trying to accomplish in the market when it comes to trading crypto. Is obviously we're trying to capture price movement, but right now, are we in the bull camp or in the bear camp, or are we neutral?
I mean, realistically, until we get above 73, we're pretty neutral in shopping. But with the recent developments this week, I think a lot of people are starting to lean a little more bullish out of the last couple of months where we chopped around.
I think the overall idea here is that we want to be long. We know that more often than not, primary trends are going to continue to trend in the direction of the primary trend. We know that Bitcoin has been in a primary uptrend, arguably for over a year now. Some huge moves off of the lows in late October of 2022. And I think the most important part about this entire puzzle is not necessarily crypto, but the distinction between crypto and the TradFi market. There is a distinct correlation, right, between Bitcoin and the NASDAQ in particular.
There definitely was in the last bull run. Over the bear market, we saw it kind of come apart from one another. But once again, we're getting back into that correlation of moves in equities really having a large impact on Bitcoin and the broader crypto market.
If you're looking at the screen right now, I overlaid the cues on top of Bitcoin's price action, and it doesn't take a rocket scientist to see that the lines tend to move in the general direction of each other, right? Same direction. You can also run something like a correlation coefficient indicator to get the actual number here. There is a slight divergence over the last few months in Bitcoin. But because our general thesis on crypto in general, crypto is a risk on area of the market. It's a portion, like an area in of itself of risk, but it's an extension of particularly the NASDAQ, right? So if we think that the NASDAQ is going to go up, and it does go up, I think that the overall idea is that some of that liquidity into risk assets is going to roll into crypto just by nature of nowadays ETFs, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Like like you couldn't say it any better. It's really is an extension of risk to the absolute farthest degenerate side of that chart.
It depends on how deep you want to get. And we're going to get into 3 altcoin charts at the very end of this, and we're going to talk about some degenerate stuff. But setting the stage here that we're bullish, right? The overall primary trend is to the upside in crypto. We think that if the overall market's going to continue to break out, that crypto is going to continue to break out. We like it. Bitcoin, like you said, has been stuck underneath the 70K range for quite a while now, almost the entire year here, 4 or 5 months straight. But we do think that it's coiling and it will be breaking out to all-time highs. So what make the call here? We're saying if we stick above 70, 71, we should be long into Bitcoin and expect the next move up. Is that generally what we're agreeing on here?
I think so. Yeah, 71.5 is what I'm looking at after that. Probably gonna full port everything, go long. But for now, we're just gonna take tactical plays here and there, which we'll talk about later. But yeah, I'm absolutely bullish on this year in crypto.
And let me put you on the spot here and make the call. What's your top in Bitcoin, or what's the first price target? I don't want to hear if it breaks 71, it's going to go to 72. Give me something. Give me a ballsy call here.
I mean, the first price target for everybody and their grandmother is obviously 100K.
I think that's the
So
safest play. Yeah.
whether we get there or not, I think we're gonna top out. Somewhere between it's so hard. Like I'll just say I'm gonna call it 140.
All right, 140.
If everything goes to plan, 140 and maybe 9.5K Ethereum or something.
I would not be surprised. As a matter of fact, we can flip on over to Ethereum really quick. Obviously, all eyes are on Bitcoin for a majority of trading, but Ethereum actually just had a bunch of news come out, right? Why don't you talk through that really quick?
Yeah. I mean, Ethereum, ever since the Bitcoin spot ETF came out with BlackRock and all the other ETF applicants, those applicants then filed for a Ethereum spot ETF. And up until Monday, the percentage approval, or I guess the chance of approval for that product was about 25% or less. And in the last about a week and a half, the and not to be political, but Trump came out and has essentially said that he's raising a pro crypto army, and a bunch of polling by, I guess, junior Biden administrators or staffers said that 20% of voters in swing states have crypto as an important item. So, in a matter of what's been legitimately 3 years of a stranglehold of crypto and Gary Gensler suing everyone and losing every battle he possibly can, the entire administration and government did a full 180 flip on their policy.
Anything for votes, man. Anything for votes.
It's pretty incredible, and in a matter of 4 days, the ETF went from essentially it's not going to happen at all to it is going to happen, and then last night at about 5 p.m. Eastern, I want to say, Gary Gensler posted an announcement that all ETF applicants were approved. There's now another process they have to go through to actually get those approved and live. But now we're getting an ETH spot ETF, which is kind of mind blowing, and it's really kind of taking the relative strength away from Bitcoin and moving into the second largest asset. I mean, when the news came out on Monday, Ethereum had its biggest percentage gain day based on market cap in its entire history, where it added $71 billion of market cap in like 4 minutes, which is adding a Solana to Ethereum.
Yeah, that's what I read this morning, that they just essentially added the entire market cap of Solana in the span of like 5 to 10 minutes, which is pretty friggin' wild.
Crazy.
So here, let's call it out, man. So we're generally on the same page when it comes to Bitcoin. We flipped that 71.5 area, and I think it's off to the races into all-time highs. The conservative call is probably 100K. I'm right there on board with you that we're going to fly through 100. You know, we might stop there. It's the nice big round number, psychological number and stuff. People are going to be taking profits. So actually, as a matter of fact, I think we break 100K. FOMO kicks in 10 times more than it is right now. It's just such a big number to most people that they think, wow, if this thing is 100,000 and it was just, it was just 60,000 and now it's 100,000. You know how that stuff works. So we're going to make the same sort of gutsy call here in Ethereum, particularly because there's some legitimacy now. The SEC approving it. There's been this internal debate for the last, 8 years that Ethereum is not, the real crypto. It's just Bitcoin and everything else and stuff. And yeah, you're right. It's security and everything else. But now that the SEC is giving it some legitimacy, people are going to want to own it, and people can own it. You can own it now. So give the call. What are we doing here with Ethereum? Where do you like the entry? And then to a lesser extent, give me some sort of price target that you're looking at here.
Because I like the entry at 3,600. I had it all charted up, and it kind of just, when we had that big candle day, it just blew through. I wasn't expecting, I don't think anyone in the space was expecting a 20% candle. So I was liking 3,600, but if we can get above, realistically, if we break all-time highs, just like in equities and the way TTI trades, like that's an entry. An all-time high break is something to consider. First price target for me is 7,100 US, obviously, and then it's so hard to call a second one because at this point, similar to Bitcoin, it really does depend on the inflows. Like I've seen we'll call it speculation at best, but people are like, hey, if ETH gets 20% of the inflows Bitcoin has, like you're looking at a $15,000 Ethereum, or people are saying like institutions are going to take over proof of staking. It's like if they do that, Ethereum's going to be worth 50K a coin because of the amount of Ethereum they have to buy, right? So like just crazy speculation going on.
There's been speculation like that for the last 14 years though, right? Ever since Bitcoin came out, it was like, dude, the most grandeur things in the world, and maybe they do happen, but there's definitely, like you said, you need an extended timeline on this stuff. Like 14 years ago, Bitcoin was supposed to revolutionize the financial world, and yet here we are, and really it's at least as of right now in terms of remittance, it's a very, very small portion of daily lives in very certain pockets of the world.
It's true. So I'd say first price target is 7,100, and second, I think it'll probably top. This is very bullish, and I because I hold a lot of Ethereum. I would say like 14.
Talk your book.
I like 11 to 14 is probably kind of like what would be amazing. Everyone and their mother's going to sell at 10.
A 280% move. That's fine, man. Why we see stuff like that? Right. Have you seen Nvidia's chart? This stuff happens all the time. Just kidding.
I know. And so I think the inflows will have a big factor. So if it is successful, I could see above 10K for sure.
So I like your 36 entry. Your 36 entry is great,
Yeah.
and I think that all-time high area up near 5K is a totally okay price target in the meantime, right? You're buying the 36 or want to own it above 36. You're looking for a 30 to 35% move. I don't think that's out of the realm of ordinary. But just like Bitcoin, and like you said, I think once we flip into all-time highs, that's when the floodgates really open. And that's kind of what history tells us, and what shows us when things break all-time highs. You have two camps. You have the one camp that says, well, I can't own it anymore, it's too expensive. But then you have and that's the logical way to think about it, but we all know that markets and logic don't go hand in hand. The overwhelming idea is, oh my god, it's at all-time highs, I need to own more of it now. And that's generally why we see these big moves post all-time high breakouts, and you got all the bear camp saying it's ridiculous, the exuberance is out of control. But typically those types of moves last for an extended period of time. That's how we get these big moves off all-time high breakouts all the time. So yeah, Ethereum 7K totally. Let's break 5 first, like definitively,
Sure.
and then let's get up and towards that. I 100% agree with you. Speaking of market cap, really quick, let's look at some of the market cap stuff here. We do a lot of analytical research on total market cap and different types of ways of identifying when liquidity is entering the market, et cetera. Here, let's see if my chart's actually going to load. My trading view has been lagging all morning here, but what you see on the screen here, for those of you that are watching this, is the total crypto market cap, and this is including Bitcoin, Ethereum, and everything in the universe, right? We're looking at the total crypto market cap, and right now we're sitting at 2.476, all-time high sitting somewhere near 2.88. The idea here is we break 2.9 or 3, we open the floodgates for an extended move to the upside in market cap. So that's just liquidity into the space. And I want to point out right now that although Bitcoin and Ethereum are fun, everyone loves them, they are worth less than a couple Mag 7 stocks by themselves. So the entire ecosystem of the crypto universe is worth less than an Apple. Just want to point that out for everybody. It's not as big as what most people expect it to be. Having said that, we break 2.9 and into that 3 trillion. I think it's reasonable to expect that the entire crypto universe is going to pop, and that's where we're going to see the big inflows, like what Josh was saying with Ethereum and Bitcoin. I mean, this has to go up if we expect those things to go up in big moves, and this is right now. This looks a lot like the Bitcoin chart, and it does look like it's basing under an all-time high. I would totally expect this to break out into all-time highs, particularly because the NASDAQ and everything else is breaking out into all-time highs, and these have high correlations. You have anything to add here on the total crypto market cap stuff?
Not a lot. I agree with you. I think that is kind of, I saw someone on crypto Twitter, CT, referencing like, when was the last time that crypto, either altcoins, because we do know some firms and Wall Street are on chain buying assets, but Bitcoin and Ethereum had or will have institutional adoption, and they're just coiling under the all-time high.
Makes sense. That's what it looks like to me.
Exactly. Like, I mean, whether it's manipulation or whatever you want to call it, like, even if it is, someone's loading something up, and the game is no longer some Dubai and Chinese crypto whales for the most part. Obviously, they have an influence, but now it's like Larry Fink, right? So a lot of that commentary is that we're coiling up on that total market cap or even on the individual charts right below all-time high. And for some reason, people are saying this is bearish, but I disagree.
It's
Maybe
absolutely not bearish.
Failed breakout. Yeah,
this is absolutely
not. Pretty silly take.
I mean, this is just basic technical analysis. This goes back over 100 years when Charles Dow said, listen, the market's been manipulated for over, back in his day, you said the market was manipulated, particularly if you're focused on trading short-term timeframes. Yes, you can manipulate markets on short-term timeframes, but you cannot manipulate primary trends. There's too much money in the system. There's not one single entity, I guess, outside of the Federal Reserve, LOL, that can move markets by themselves. And so when you find these types of trading setups, and by the way, coiling under all-time highs or any sort of resistance area like this could be a pennant, whatever you want to draw here. This is a consolidation fractal. These are typically going to resolve in the direction of the underlying trend. And if you have this overhead supply zone that it's coiling under, I think it's fair to assume that it's going to break that supply zone and then very quickly turn it into a demand zone. It's just a basic resistance turn support flip, and then obviously we're going to continue to break out. So that's exactly the way that I think it's going to play out. It sounds like we're in agreement. I'm glad other people don't agree with us, because that's what we want in a market. We do not want everybody agreeing in one direction. And as a matter of fact, I would prefer most people to think I'm crazy. because then I know that they're going to be really mad when it happens, and then they're going to be revenge trading, and that's more liquidity to shove in the direction that I'm going to profit off of. So that's okay. Okay, so great. I'm glad we have some targets here for Bitcoin and Ethereum. I want to pick your brain. 3 altcoins. I know we've talked about it this week inside of the trading initiative. 3 altcoins that you like. Give me them. We'll talk through them really quick. About the next 10 or 12 minutes, we'll go through each one and see if we can find anything here. Give me your number 1 altcoin that you like right now.
Well, if you want to take one step back, if we want to pull up Total 3, which is the market cap for all of crypto excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum, you can kind of take a look at where the altcoin market is as a whole. And I think it was Pentoshi or one of those big accounts on CT was joking that, if the altcoin market cap goes back to its all-time high and breaks out, like, the joke was where we're going, you're not going to need charts. We're halfway back to that all-time high chart. So I think the Total 3 or Total 2, if you want to include Ethereum, is a really good indicator for altcoin strength, as well as Bitcoin dominance, which has been coming down recently with this pivot to Ethereum, and then a lot of these altcoins outperforming. So yeah, on that Total 3 chart, you can see that we came down, we actually retested that kind of like $700 million level market cap resistance almost. Well, resistance turned support, and we're bouncing now. So that is great for altcoins. Bitcoin dominance coming down is great for altcoins. USD or stable coins dominance not changing dramatically is good for altcoins. Typically, if you see an increase in that, so that's something for listeners or viewers to keep an eye out. If you see stablecoin dominance increasing, you know that participants are cashing out their crypto to hold stablecoins. So could be indicative of a greater market trend break or move. In terms of trades, so there's 3 main ones. I wrote about them in the newsletter this week. I'd say the number 1 trade that I know a number of the TTI members are in is Ondo Finance. It has showed crazy relative strength compared to the market over the last couple months, where Bitcoin's chopped down and realistically alts have bled out from 20 to 70% off their recent highs. Example, Arbitrum was at 225 and then was trading under $1.
I'm on the right chart here. Is it Ondo USD? I think I put Ondo USDT. Which one is it? Which one do you want me to look at? You have a preference on?
I look at Coinbase because that's what a lot of the users use. Yeah, that's correct.
All right, got it.
So yeah, we had, it's a new asset that came out. Non-TA wise, it's funded by BlackRock. So like, whether you look into fundamentals or stories, stuff like that, that's a story that will take off, since Larry is undefeated against Gary in crypto right now. Yeah, new asset. It's only gone up, and now it's coiled before breaking out to its new high. So, sent a ping out and sent a trade idea out, as well as harassing everyone at TTI to take a look at this, that, when this breaks that 98 cent to $1 level, I expect a pretty large impulse move to the upside. I think there's about 6 of us in the server in it right now, including myself. And, we got that yesterday. We're up at, I think we're currently at about $1.15, between $1.10 and $1.15. And so for that trade, we're targeting 131 as our first target. My fibs are a little different than you, but that's all right. And then a second target of 174. And then, I think I've told everyone either in newsletters or in the server that we want to keep, if you can keep stops off the book, there have been stop hunts. I've been joking with Mike that, we've had wicks come down and go through our stops, and thankfully they just didn't activate. I technically got stopped on Ondo, but my stop didn't go.
For those of you that are newer to trading crypto, what he's talking about is liquidity can be very sparse on some of these, particularly newer trades, newer listed coins and stuff. So, if you're trading crypto, I never want to say don't use a stop loss, but I do want you to understand that there are, because there's pockets of low liquidity in some of these, you can be inadvertently wicked out and stopped out prematurely of a trade that maybe the primary trend might still have you going in a certain direction, but just because of some sort of liquidity pocket or whatever, just a single event that lasts maybe 10 seconds, you might be stopped out. So not telling you don't use a stop, but what I'm telling you is when you're position sizing in some of these crypto types of plays, Make sure you factor in a little bit more volatility than you would in the TradFi market. You can see right now with ONDO, we're at 8.66 ADR, which is, if you were trading that, that's like a micro or a small cap type name. So you would give more room for those types of names, right? You should be doing the same for these newer listed crypto coins as well. And just to piggyback off of what Josh was saying on the chart in particular, it's a beautiful bullish momentum regime. Essentially, since it's listed, it never broke below the 50 RSI. This is exactly what we look for inside of TTI. We want strength, and this chart is a shining example of strength. We have the same breakout area that we've used in the TradFi market all the time. This is an IPO range breakout high that resulted in literally the exact same move we would expect off of something like this. You can look at names like Reddit, RDDT, ARM, ARM. Right now, there's a trade that we're looking to get into, CORZ. It's a Bitcoin mining name that just IPO'd. It's this exact same setup. Gets listed. We form a range and we break out and hopefully get this new markup period. At this point, ONDO is already through a first markup period. We're into a second accumulation period, which you can see right here. Bullish momentum, 8.66 ADR. Josh has fibs running to the upside, looking for a 130 and a 160-ish price target off of a 97-ish entry. It's a really, really nice looking chart, and it's a really, really nice trade. And like you said, if you're able to grab it 2 days ago when you were originally talking about it, this thing's up anywhere between 10 to 15% depending on the entry, which is just a phenomenal opportunity here on ONDO. And it looks like you guys caught it right at where you should be looking to catch it. There's no catch-up trade here whatsoever. So good job.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I think everyone's pretty happy, and I know some of us use a little bit of leverage to kind of magnify those gains, but obviously that comes with a whole nother slew of risks.
Yeah, let's not talk about leverage on stream. Let's not talk about leverage on stream because we got some degenerates that are going to listen to this and they're like, "Me too, 50x, let's go." No. Okay, let's talk about the next one. Give me the next one you got here.
Okay, so the next one is Bonk. It's a Solana-based meme coin. I've been talking a lot to friends and folks in TTI that, this run has largely, this run was kicked off by Pepe running from a $35,000 market cap to over 1 billion and then chopping for 8 months. This run has really been characterized by meme coins and shitcoin. Like, as an example, Phantom, which is a Solana-based wallet, is the number 2 trending app in finance on the App Store. Everyone and their mother is trading meme coins. Most people are losing money, and so, but
disclaimer,
they are, right? And that's
disclaimer.
And you have the unit bias effect of, hey, I can buy, with $100, I can buy 3 million of these tokens, and if it goes to X thing, I'm going to make X amount of money, right? So the rationale for Bonk is that it has showed relative strength against a lot of its Solana-based peers. I know Ethereum memes are pumping right now because of the Ethereum ETF, but I wanted to get some exposure more exposure to Solana meme coins. Bonk is breaking out, or it's about to break out to all-time highs. Made essentially a massive rounded bottom. It might turn into a cup and handle. I'm not sure. I'm kind of just watching this very carefully. But essentially an entry above, call it ... 36 is what I'd be looking for individuals to get involved in that. So if we do get that breakout, I expect, if you just look at the chart, I expect very large impulse parabolic moves.
I don't think you're wrong. Once again, I got the same thing as you. My fibs are just a little bit higher, but let's be honest with you. We're not going to, for anybody listening to this, if you're looking at crypto stuff in general, don't get stressed over a couple sat difference in an entry. It's not going to matter. So he says 36, I say 36.75. It's the exact same trade. Literally, it's like a 5-second difference between entry on there. But yeah, you're absolutely right. This is even a bigger ADR, by the way, than ONDO. Just want to point that out. This is an 11.72 ADR. As opposed to the 8 whatever ADR that ONDO is. So once again, make sure you guys are giving this stuff a little bit of wiggle room here when you're entering this stuff. Yeah. And I 100% agree. If this thing gets up and over this 36.5 level, I think this breaks out into all-time highs, and I'm sure we have the same sort of price targets, 50 and then 75. We just run the fibs up. Nice bullish momentum.
Exactly.
Essentially, since it got listed back in February. Yeah, like you said.
If you want to see a better chart, look up the same name, but it'll just say CryptoCap instead of exchange, so it'll show the entire on-chain history, and you can see the run up it's done. Like, this coin has absolutely made crazy millionaires.
Yep.
And every impulse move, it's making more and more.
Yep. This looks like a very normal type of crypto move. Each leg is is higher than the rest, and then we just don't have to worry until the eventual apex when it stops going up, right? So right now it looks like we're still heading up. Looks like we're about to break out an all-time high, so another good move. All right, we have time for one more. Give me the last crypto altcoin. We can talk through Pepe if you want. You want to talk through Pepe?
I don't know if there's a play right now. I've been joking that I just want to put everything in my portfolio, which is irresponsible, and you shouldn't do it.
Let's talk about it though. Even if there's not a play here, we can talk about Pepe.
Sure. Yeah, Pepe came out was launched in 2022. It has a blurry history because it was likely launched by some scam developers who just keep launching coins. And this one picked up, right? It had the right people on Twitter and crypto Twitter talking about it and pumping it. And essentially in 5 weeks, it did something that hasn't been done before. It ran from like a sub, I think it was like $36,000 market cap to over $1 billion. And that has largely been seen as like one of the items that kicked off the bull.
Could be
in an example, a handful of friends, a TTI member, myself, we all grabbed like $50 worth or whatever at a market cap of 4 million. It's currently worth 6.4 billion. And so
a lot of money made
for those who held it, you've turned a little money, regardless of how little you put into a lot relative. I don't know what Mike's current percentage is because it just keeps going up and up. But it's like a 30,000% gain.
Yeah, Mike's sitting in probably a $12,000 to $15,000 position off of like $50 original entry. And just so everyone's listening to this out there in the universe, we're not condoning necessarily YOLOing into these low market cap stuff. We're just trading things. Yes. We're just trading things based off of the technical analysis. Charts. Are we getting breakouts or are we not? But I will tell you right now that there is almost virtually zero chance in the TradFi market you're ever going to have the same type of opportunity to turn $50 into $12,000. Ever, even if you take the most risk. It's just they don't exist. Those opportunities don't exist. In the crypto market, they do exist. So once again, the Pepe original breakout we had was somewhere around 1770, and right now it's trading at 14,277, which is just absolutely friggin' insanity to me. And you're right, it just continues to go up. There was an additional entry here just a few sessions ago that some of the guys in TTI grabbed as well, in the trader development side at least. I don't know if you put this out in your last newsletter or not, but they were looking at getting filled somewhere between 95 and 10,000, and it's currently already up to 14, so that's an additional move. I'm on log chart right now, just so everyone's fully aware, so you can actually see the moves here, because if we weren't on log chart, it would be friggin' impossible to understand these types of moves, but this is an additional like 40% move in just a couple of days.
Yeah, it's really crazy. And I mean, like, for reference, and I don't think we're at the top of the bull run. I think we have a good chunk of time to go, but Shiba Inu, which was Elon's dog that went viral and had its own coin, it reached a market cap of I think $44 billion at the top. Pepe is currently at 6. So like, if it aims for those, now this isn't TA obviously, but like if it's aiming for those SHIB Doge levels, and Doge was well above SHIB. Rest in peace, the Cabuso Doge passed away last night.
Yes.
There's still so much meat on the bones if that's your thesis, which is, I've told Mike, I think that should be his thesis. I said, you aim to take out SHIB. Because that position, as an example, will go from $42 to 100,000.
Speaking of a Dogecoin really quick, I want to wrap this up. Dogecoin doesn't look too bad either here, consolidating underneath 2 price targets that we had above 13 and below 18. This is normally what you'd like to see in a continued uptrend. The market digests the little stage 2 breakout we have in Doge, and I wouldn't be surprised to see if the entire market breaks. Or I wouldn't be surprised if the entire market breaks out and Dogecoin continues to fly as well. I know it's just like everything, it's a meme stock. But listen, guys, the name of the game is not trying to add validity to these goddamn coins. Who gives a shit? What we care about are reasonable entries and exits, and whether or not liquidity is eventually going to hit these charts, just based off the fact that crypto in general is an extension of risk, and it tends to move in the same direction as the NASDAQ and other risk-on assets of the market. I don't care if you have an allegiance to Doge over anything else. If the chart says buy and you have the opportunity to buy, you'd be crazy not to grab some exposure. And right now, Dogecoin does look like a lot of the other charts we've just talked about. They're coiling underneath some overhead supply. And you know what generally happens when things blow up? They go way past that overhead supply and hit new highs. So Dogecoin looks good. As a matter of fact, most of the crypto market looks good. Josh, any last words here as we wrap Crypto Friday up?
Take a small percentage of your portfolio and allocate it to memes. It doesn't have to be Doge, it doesn't have to be Pepe, but I think that sector has and will continue to outperform the market by massive strides. So I think it would be a disservice to your crypto portfolio if you didn't allocate even a single digit percentage of your very specifically crypto portfolio, not net worth or entire, finances, to one of those major coins: Pepe, SHIB, Doge, MOG, Trump, if you want to take the political angle, or Bowden. I think it would be a mistake not to. You're missing out on those games.
They have so many opportunities. That's the best part. And new ones come up every day.
Hundreds to thousands come up every day. So I would say avoid going, as they say, in the trenches where, I'm on Telegram just getting rinsed.
This is why you're our crypto research guy, because you are in the trenches.
But if you're finding assets that are, at least above $1 million cap, and if the name legitimately makes you laugh, and it has a good chart, I think it's worth dabbling. Or even if you want to get to the higher market cap ones, like there's one called MOG. It's an Ethereum-based meme coin. It's been doing great. I think its market cap's like 300 or 400 million. Like that's likely going to $1 billion as the next price target for me. So I think it's definitely.
Let's end it right there. That was a bold statement. Let's end it there. Let's end it there, guys. Thank you so much for joining us on Crypto Friday. Josh, thank you so much for your expertise. I look forward to talking to you next Friday about the same stuff. Hopefully, the charts that we've talked about over the last 30 minutes are going to be up, so the conversation next week is going to be fun. We're going to hunt for some new gems. Enjoy your guys' long weekend.